welcome back to Story Stash. I'm your host Duncan, and these are some of my stories I've written. Today, I'm reading from my book Star Guardian, and this is chapter 23. So, let's get started. Chapter 23, 5th and 6th. Part of our success has been the predictability of the foe. Their waves arrived every 2 days and at the same location. We knew where and when they would arrive next. It would have been more effective if they varied their pattern. We were fortunate to have figured them out early on. I was still unclear on why they did this way. After sending home 2 of their foe vessels from the last wave, we had time to rest. Our defenses were ready for the next wave, and we knew we had at least a day before it was expected. I spent more time hanging out with Kaluna rather than the main bridge. Kaluna was happy about the return of prisoners. She thought perhaps the gesture would help lead to a peaceful resolution. I thought the better deterrent was that out of 12 ships, only 2 made it back. We had also shown them the video of the destruction of vessels from the previous wave. I liked that the intel they had was limited but scary. I wanted to keep it that way. By the time they got back, it may trigger sending larger fleets. So far, they had seemed persistent. I had to be prepared for larger fleets. I was glad it was quiet for a while. I got caught up on my rest. I wanted my wits about me for when something happened. Day 12 came, and we were assembled in the main bridge, ready for the next wave to arrive. We all sat watching the tactical display. "Attention, multiple vessels arriving in the system," said Ship. We watched the familiar 3 dots move into the system and proceed toward Baglaji 4. They seemed as gullible as their predecessors and were soon rendered helpless. "Ship, please initiate return home protocol for all 3 vessels," ordered Jem. I guess she was fed up with keeping prisoners in the system. Although capturing prisoners was far better than killing, it still didn't fit with her peacekeeping mission. I thought the sooner we sent them home, the less likely they would try to restore control and die. We watched the 3 dots leave the system. The crews would not get control of their vessel back until they returned to their own system in 4 days. That would be day 16, so they could not return until at least day 20. "That went so easy, it seemed like a non-event," said Jem. "It seemed too easy," I said. I liked how we did not have to kill anyone or destroy their vessels. "They got hardly a glimpse of the system, and then they were on their way home," said Kaluna. I had a new idea, but I decided to wait until I could talk with Ship alone. Fortunately, the fun was over. I left Jem and Kaluna talking on the main bridge and went for a walk to find somewhere quiet. I wandered until I reached a lounge area I had visited before. I took a seat on a couch. "Ship, I need your help to develop a protocol update for the data port probes," I said. "Proceed," said Ship. "Once a vessel is under our control, I would like the option to have it attack the other vessels not under our control. It would need control of maneuvering and weapons. Can you do that?" I asked. "Confirmed," replied Ship. "This option should be used for 2 purposes. One is to distract the other foe vessels so they pursue the vessel under our control in a path that takes them past the dataport probes or the nanobot probes. 2 would be, if one were not possible, have the vessel under our control turn and fire on the other foe vessels not under our control. Ideally, this would be automated. Can you handle that?" I said. "Confirmed," replied Ship. "Great. Ship, send out the protocol update," I said. "Confirmed," Protocol update sent to all dataport probes, said Ship. Thank you, Ship. Any news on Molly? I asked. Refit is proceeding. Completion should be in about 2 days, said Ship. Once refit is complete, could you have Molly move to this side of Baglergy 4 and remain cloaked? We can use it for support if needed, I said. Confirmed, replied Ship. I did not have a crew for the new vessel, but it would be useful to have a second friendly vessel available. Oh, and Ship, please make certain that the dataport probes can tell a friendly vessel like you and Molly from a foe, I added. Confirmed, replied Ship. Awesome. Our defenses will be that much more secure because of our efforts, I smiled. Ship, I have a question for you. I don't know if you will have an answer. It concerns hyperspace travel. If a vessel travels via hyperspace from the foe system to this system at the same time as a vessel travels from our system to the foe system, is it at all likely that they would meet? Is there a possibility of a collision? Would they be able to detect the other vessel? I asked. Data from historical logs show no instance of an event. Theory suggests that as hyperspace is infinite, the chances of meeting another vessel in hyperspace is infinitesimal, Ship replied. That's okay, I'm just being paranoid, I said. I went back to our cabin. It was empty, so I lay down for some sleep. If something happened, I am sure Ship would alert me. Things were happening in the background, and my presence was not required. Our defenses had reached a level where I was comfortable to sleep. Day 14, I was awoke by Ship. Attention, foe vessel's estimated arrival in 2 hours, said Ship. We all scrambled out of bed. We had breakfast and made our way to the main bridge to wait for our expected guests. Attention, multiple vessels arriving in the system, said Ship. We sat and watched the usual 3 dots move into the system and proceed toward Baglergy 4. It was going like before. Then something different happened. The left vessel veered off to the left, and the right vessel went to the right. They were separating. This was something new. Ship, did the vessels respond to the communication? Asked Jem. Confirmed. Lead vessel responded affirmative, said Ship. We could see that the only one vessel, the middle one, was on course for Baglergy 4 and would travel close enough to the dataport probes. Ship, how is Molly? I asked. Stationed off our port bow, I have arranged for any communication with Molly to be relayed as needed, said Ship. On the tactical display, a green dot appeared near the green dot representing Ship. Both Jem and Kaluna looked first at the green dot and then at me. I smiled at both. You don't think I would leave us exposed? Molly, please go around to the other side of the planet and take care of that one, I said, pointing at the red dot on the right. Confirmed, said Molly in a female voice. The green dot moved around Baglergy 4 towards the foe vessel. Jem, Kaluna, meet Molly. Molly is the second vessel of the new Baglergy fleet after Ship, I said. Hello, Molly, said Jem, smiling. Hello, Captain, replied Molly. Molly, please can you try to capture the vessel without killing the crew? Asked Kaluna. Confirmed, I will try, said Molly. I noticed on the tactical display the middle foe vessel had come to a stop. Ship, status of the middle vessel, I asked. It is under our control, replied Ship. I smiled. Ship, time to try out the new option. Target this vessel. I pointed at the red dot on the left. Confirmed, said Ship. The middle foe vessel turned and fired at the left foe vessel. This was turning more in our favor. Ship, please cloak and move us around closer to the action. We may be needed to help finish this, I said. Confirmed, said Ship. We were soon moving out from behind the planet. Events happened quickly at this point. Both the left and right vessels turned and moved toward the vessel under our control. Communications from the left and right vessels were coming in rapidly, asking what or why or something. Ship had not deciphered all the language yet. Ship, direct the vessel under our control to move towards the planet. Perhaps they will follow it through our trap, I said. Confirmed, said Ship. We watched as the two foe vessels closed in. The one on the left passed by a dataport probe, and soon it came to a stop. 2 down, 1 to go. Molly was in position now, just to the right and above the remaining foe vessel. Molly decloaked and aimed weapons at the foe. The other 2 vessels under control turned to face the foe vessel and locked on weapons. This had the desired result. The foe vessel came to a stop, surrounded by what looked like 3 foe vessels. The fun part was what you couldn't see. As the worried crew of the foe vessel was distracted by the 3 foe vessels, a cloaked dataport probe snuck into the foe vessel and attached to the dataport. Soon after, it was all over. Attention, all 3 vessels are now under our control. The crews have been informed that any attempt to restore control will lead to termination of life support, said Ship. Ship, please initiate return home protocol for all 3 vessels, ordered Jem. Once again, 3 vessels moved to the edge of the system and were gone. Well, that's the end of chapter 23. And next episode we'll have chapter 24, Intel. So, hope to see you then. Until then, goodbye.